Hey everybody, Amanda here. I got some news today from my son's school about an incident that happened. And when I first started hearing his teacher talk, I thought, oh no, did my son do something? I hope he didn't do something. And it turns out he didn't do anything at all. What actually happened is there was another student who said some racial comments to my son, racist comments to my son, and my son handled it by walking away. So I am very proud of how my son handled that situation, because in the past, he's had that experience where somebody has used the N-word towards him, and the first time that happened, he had never been called that name before, and he asked what that word meant, and I had to explain to him what that word meant and the significance of it and where it came from and all that stuff. And I told him, when somebody calls you a name or says mean things to you, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with that person. There's something going on with that person, and they're trying to make themselves feel better by trying to tear you down. So it has nothing to do with you. And if you come across a situation like that where somebody is saying things to you like that or calling you names of some kind, the way you react is very important. Because I've been teaching him that the choices that you make determine the type of person that you'll be. And I'm trying to raise him to be a good man, to make good decisions. So when he becomes an adult, he will have those tools, and he, not that he won't make mistakes, we all make mistakes, but so that, he has those tools, he has that knowledge, he has that wisdom, and hopefully he uses it. And today he did, and he walked away. So I am so proud of him, because right now in this country we are dealing with so much hate and racism and just all kinds of stuff right now. And if this was 5 years ago, my son would have handled that much differently. So the skills that he has learned, the talks that I have had with him about how to handle a situation like that, it's really come together. He's really growing. He is maturing into a fine young man. And I couldn't be prouder. It does, what happened does it breaks my heart. It's not okay what happened, but I got a call from his teacher, and then I got a call from somebody else. I wasn't sure what her role was with my son, but they both informed me that there will be disciplinary action on the other student's part. And because of confidentiality, I'm not going to know what that is. And that's okay, because I'm more concerned with how my son will handle this, if it's affecting him at all. Because when someone has autism, the way they process emotions and situations is a lot different than, a lot of, somebody who doesn't have autism or is on the spectrum. So he might not care, or he might care, but he just doesn't know how to express it verbally. He's not very good at verbalizing his emotions. But my friend brought up a good point that maybe I could show him the feeling wheel. I made a video on that, and maybe that might be helpful. I learned of this information this afternoon, and I wanted to give him some space. I didn't want to bombard him with what happened, all that stuff. I wanted to see if he would come to me, and I wanted him to know that I was there for him. So I came at him with a place of love, but also with, him feeling that he knows he's loved. So, and that, there's an openness. So I looked at what he was doing and I showed interest in that. And, I asked him if he could stand up, and he's like, why? I'm like, well, just stand up. Come on. I'm your mom. Just stand up for a minute. And so he stood up, and I just gave him a big hug, and I said, I love you, and he goes, you're so short. And I'm like, well, you're so tall, I said, it works out, right? And I said, I love you, no matter what happens, I love you. And then I went and I did something, and I came back and I said, oh, by the way, I meant to ask you, how was school today? And he said, it was okay. And normally when I ask him that question, he says, it was great, because he had a good day. And then we make a joke about it, and I go, it wasn't great, like the commercial, Tony the Tiger. And, but he said it was okay. Now, I didn't get the story out of him, but he gave me something, which is huge, for him. So I don't want to press him too much, but I want him to know that I'm there for him. He can talk to me if he wants to. I notified his counselor. That way, if he does want to talk to him, he can. I'm going to bring that up to him if he wants to see him this week. He normally wouldn't see him this week, but he said that he doesn't have anybody in a slot this week on that day. So if he so chooses, he's willing to see him this week if he wants to talk about it, if he has any issues surrounding that. And the school informed me that they're going to make sure that they handle the situation, and also in the morning, they're going to be on top of it, making sure Casey feels safe to be around the other student, because I think this happened in a classroom, just the way that the teacher presented the story. I think he was there, and I think he saw what happened, and I think that they have to talk to the other students in the classroom, and it's heavy stuff, and it's sad that it happened, there's no need for that kind of stuff, because, racism is a learned behavior. You're not born racist. That's a learned behavior, so it's not okay, but he will be okay. He's got a full support team. I also notified his case manager. So I'm just going to be here for him. I'm going to let him know if there's anything he wants to talk about. He can always come to me no matter what it is, and I'll just listen and just support him and be there for him like a mom's supposed to do. So, but yeah, that's what happened today, and I'm just still kind of processing it, and just, and I think that's what he's doing. I wanted to give him time to process, because normally he's a very bubbly kind of kid, and you can see it on his face. He's always making goofy faces and laughing and joking around, and today he didn't have that look on his face. He had a different look on his face, and I can tell, he's a little bit bothered. So that hurts me, but I don't want to push him. But I also still want to have a conversation with him about this. So life is hard. It really is, but this is something that happened, and now it's something I have to deal with, and just make sure that Casey understands, he didn't do anything wrong. He did the absolute right thing, and that I am super proud of him. And hopefully, whatever the situation, however that plays out, however Casey, I don't know how Casey feels about this student. I don't know if he's going to want to open up to me or to somebody else. But however that works out at school, you know, they're going to be working on that tomorrow. So I'll keep you guys updated on what's going on with that. On Casey's side anyway. I don't know about the other child, but yeah, so what a day. All right, well, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being here and watching my videos and supporting me. And you know, it's been one long journey here on this channel. You know, it's just one thing after another, you know, it's how life is. So, but I also was very calm on the phone. I didn't yell at anybody. I listened, and you know, some of it was I was kind of in shock of what I was hearing, you know. But I also know that when you yell at people, people stop listening to you, and vice versa. So I want to be able to have conversations, dialogues, be able to have open communication with people, because then people listen. You can get things accomplished that way much better than if you yell and scream. So, and I want to show Casey, you know, how I handle situations. You know, I want him to be able to mirror what I'm doing. So if he sees me being calm and rational in dealing with the situation, excuse me. Hold on one second. Excuse me. So if he sees me dealing with the situation calmly and rationally, I hope that reflects on his behavior, where he will deal with situations calmly and rationally. So, all right. Well, again, thank you so much for listening to me, and I really appreciate all the love, you guys, and the support and just everything. Thank you guys so much. I'm still processing this. This is heavy for me. This, you know, my heart is breaking for my son that this happened to him, you know. But it's a part of life, and it's a learning experience, and you know, we'll get through this, and you know, he'll be all the better and stronger for it. So that's how I see it. All right, I'm gonna go, guys. I love you all, and I will keep you informed of how things go with my son. All right, I love you. Peace and love, guys. Spread that kindness and love. All right, gotta spread it around. Spread it around. All right, I love you guys. Bye.